Okay, our next speaker, this is really, really exciting, I think. The topic is my reputation. And I don't know what kind of reputation I have, but perhaps I will learn about that while listening to this next speaker. I also read somewhere about Frykman, who we're going to listen to, that he creates winners that dare to stand out as unique. So, welcome, Per. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So glad to be here, and thank you for having me. I am a complete nerd. I've been a complete nerd for about 10 years, working in one distinct area, and that's the area of reputation, or your professional reputation, mainly as individuals. And to me, it's extremely important that if I am a nerd, I want to be in an area where I can bring value to people, in an area where I can maybe take people to the next professional level, have the potential of doing that. And I would say that working with reputation has that potential. I saw this article, this quotation, that in Silicon Valley you find many, many different assets. You have money, you have talent, you have media attention, but maybe the most important thing that you have is your reputation. And of course, that's not only in Silicon Valley. That's here in Sundsvall. That's for everyone, for every individual. This is crucial. And as consultants or as entrepreneurs or whatever position you have, you are your reputation. And that's one thing you should take care of and really develop it. Rachel Botsman, from the sharing economy, guru in the sharing economy, talks about reputation capital as the cornerstone of the 21st century economy. And what she means by reputation economy or reputation value is the combination between reputation and the trust that it builds. Reputation and trust, and that will be the foundation for collaborating in this new world where we can collaborate anywhere. It will build on reputation and trust. Richard Branson, unfortunately haven't met him yet, but I hope I will do someday. I saw him in a television interview where he said that reputation is my absolute most important asset, is something that I have to fight to protect. Warren Buffett said that we can afford to lose money. We can afford to lose a lot of money, but we can never afford to lose an inch of our reputation. And I see you are nodding, which is very interesting, because whenever I talk about reputation with people, everyone agrees with me that your reputation is crucial for your success. And sometimes I ask people, you are nodding, but do you know your own reputation? And what surprises me is that so few are aware of their absolute greatest assets or the possibilities that it actually opens up. And this is a great challenge, but a huge opportunity for all of us. So the question is, what is reputation? A couple of years back, I wrote a book about personal branding. And of course, when you write a book, you give keynotes, and all those keynotes I gave about personal branding, there were always someone or people raising their hands saying, hello, I'm not a service, I'm not a product, I'm not a brand, I'm a human being. And the tragedy for me was, or the opportunity was, that I agreed with them. I felt that I agreed with them. We are no brands. We are human beings. But on one occasion I said, but you have a reputation. And they said, oh yes, oh yes. So then the problem was solved, and my sales were set in a completely different direction. Because personal branding and reputation are actually two different species. Personal branding is a lot about what I say about myself, while reputation is how my actions, my performance, my expertise, my unique qualities are perceived by others. And to me, that's far more important than what I say about myself. So I think you should have this in mind, that reputation is how my actions are perceived by my professional surroundings, by my networks, by my colleagues, people listening to me. And I've been, for the last 10 years, hunting for what are the real success factors. What are the factors that make us whatever success is, as we have discussed? What are the key factors that give us success? What are the key factors that make people hire me? And is it possible to promote them in a completely 100% trustworthy way? And what I found is, here are maybe 25 of them. I could give you 25 more. But the real problem is that we normally focus on two. We focus on our experience and we focus on our expertise. And of course, they are crucial. When I fly, I prefer to fly with a trained pilot and not a pilot who is just interested in flying and have a nice attitude. But that doesn't decide how good a pilot she or he is. There's something else involved here. Doesn't decide to get a job as a pilot. There's something else involved besides your expertise and experience. Because your expertise can never stand alone. Your expertise always needs something to transform it into action with a successful result. And that's those other key factors. Some call them soft skills. Seth Godin called them real skills. And Tom Peters, management guru, saw a tweet he put out saying, if I see the word soft skills one more time, I'm going to barf, because they are the true hard skills that generate results. And I agree with him. So my ambition, my ultimate goal is to see, is it possible to find one tool that can give you a 100% accurate estimation of all those factors besides your experience and expertise. And of course, the tool is your reputation. If you can get many people around you to give you feedback on all those factors, somewhere along the way you will come closer and closer to the truth, which has been a really exciting journey. I saw a figure that the halftime of expertise in the beginning of 10 years back was around 20 years. Today it's down to 4 or 5 years. And again, what we need is all those other factors and the natural curiosity. I have worked with around 1,000 people, mainly consultant or entrepreneurs in different countries. And 25 of those people have come back to me after 4 or 5 years saying, we want to redo this process to look at our reputation and see what has happened. And what was really, really interesting to me was that every one of them, their reputation had skyrocketed, got much, much sharper or better. And what really surprised me was that everyone said, but I haven't done anything consciously. So the thing is, when you know your reputation, when you get aware of your strengths, unique qualities, and associate with them, get them into your body, look at it every day for 1 or 2 weeks, magic happens. Then you start to live it. And to me, that's the elegance of simplicity. To just associate yourself with what you are perceived to be good at and your bugs. So getting it into your mind and body does magic. So to me, it's working with 3 strategies. To know and build on your strengths. Of course, that's much more fun than, I know what I'm good at. I try to work only with that. The second is to handle your bugs. I never talk about weaknesses. I think it's a lousy word. It's something that I'm bad at. I normally talk about my bugs because bugs is like a computer program. My bugs show that I have the courage to release something new, to do something that I wasn't really used to. And of course, there are bugs. So it's, and they should be handled. Some bugs you can live with, and some bugs you should definitely put on your stop doing list and get rid of them. And then also, of course, depending on where you're heading, also consider what is missing. What do I need to develop? What new area do I need to bring into what I'm doing? And to me, it's crucial. Every morning when I wake up and look at my smartphone, I see those red dots on the apps, meaning that they have been updated again and again. They release the apps in a beta version, and then they update it constantly. And to me, it's a way of living. I want to see myself as a beta version. Because being in beta can mean, or often means, that I have released something before it's ready. And then I just need to update it again and again, getting rid of the bugs. And I think this is crucial. Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn, said or wrote on one occasion that if you're not ashamed, if you're not deeply ashamed of the first version that you released, you have released it too late. And to think of yourself as a beta version, it's comforting, because you can try things, you can make mistakes. You are in beta. You dare to do things that you normally don't do. And to me, that is really, really crucial. And try to be so good that you can't be ignored. This was a title of a book, I think. But to be so good that you can't be ignored, I think that you have to be a nerd today. And if you should be a nerd today, you should be it in an area where you are perceived to be really good, and an area you have a deep, deep interest in. I don't believe in the advice, go look for your passion. because I meet so many people who never finds it. To me, it's about combining what I'm perceived to be good at with my deep interest and start digging there. And somewhere along the way, you will get into your passion or even obsession. I'm really obsessed with working with reputation because I see so many great results. Your reputation always walks ahead of you. You always come in second. I saw someone naming the figure that 80% of the important decisions about us are made when we are not present. The only thing present is our reputation. Important business decisions, what consultancy shall we call in, what consultant shall we talk to, and so on, who shall we hire, and so on and so on. Those decisions are often made when you are not present. The only thing present is your reputation. Because I think we have to realize that we are always being valued. Always being valued by others. It's always others that recommend us. It's always others who hire us. It's always others who applaud us. And that, of course, that valuation builds my reputation. And I think it's time to get into knowing your reputation, to mapping it, to expand it, because there's so much to gain by knowing your reputation. When did they release the iPhone? I think it was 10 years ago, something like that. And the incredible thing to me was that millions of people were queuing up for something they hadn't seen before. It was the expectations that sold the iPhone. And that's the same for every one of us, because if you don't remember anything else from this talk, please remember one thing, and that is that your professional reputation or your reputation sets off the expectations of what you can accomplish next and how you will do it. Your reputation sets off the expectations of what you can accomplish next and how, which is actually the reason why we are being hired. So that's, I think, is maybe the most important part about knowing and expanding your reputation, because of this, the expectations that it sets off. And there is research about this, research about why do we hire a certain person for a project, for a job, or whatever. And the thing is that it's not experience. It's not our history, what we've done before. It's about our potential for the future. Potential for the future. But I think we have to have a mind shift. I mean, when we promote ourselves, we normally talk about what we've done in the past, not what we want to accomplish in the future. And actually, no one is interested in what I have done. It's tragic, but people are not interested in what I have done or what I do. People are interested in what value can I add to others. That's the important thing. So I think we have to have a mind shift going from thinking and promoting our history to promoting what we can do in the future, our potential. And in this research, they had a simple example that I think is interesting. They said, let's imagine that you are a coach or a manager of a soccer team, and you have a couple of millions something to buy a new player, and you can choose between two players. The player who scored 30 goals 3 years ago, in the league, or the player that you expect to score 30 goals the next season? What player do you choose? And to me, the choice is simple. You choose the player that you expect to score the next season. And you just have to transform that into your business life. So instead of talking about so much about history, let's talk about our potential for the future. And this is also something that I find intriguing, that your reputation adds up actually what you have done the last 5 years or the last years, because your reputation takes time to build it, and it adds it up, and also indicating your full potential, what you can accomplish. And to me that's quite intriguing, because when I look at people and their reputation, I immediately see their potential and what they actually can accomplish. And when we start talking about that, again, I think magic happens. Warren Buffett said on one occasion that it takes many, many years to build your reputation, and it does. It takes 5 minutes to ruin it. And when you think about that, you think about how important your performance or your action is. Constantly. I mean, go back 10 or 15 years, it maybe took a week to ruin your reputation. Today it can take 5 minutes. And we have examples of this, that you are one tweet away from a nightmare. Something worth considering today. And the last picture, we have just released a new book, the first one in English, called If You Dig It, Gig It, 120 ideas about the future of professional life. And I think this is the last page. I had a keynote, I think 2 years ago, and one Swedish-American guy came up to me and said, you know, it's interesting when we discuss the word history, because in Sweden you think back in time on your history. In America we think in another way. We think, let's go out and make history. And that's quite a different thing. So the thing is that today there is a saying that you are never better than your last project. I would say you are never better than your next project. It's a possibility today to be famous for what we actually haven't done yet. So, I mean, the theme for this conference or these days are let's co-create and let's go out and make history together. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. I'm starting to think now about my reputation, of course. Any questions from you guys? Yes.
Thank you. I love what you're saying, and I also understand life in beta. And I have stepped outside of corporation, and all of us have glass ceilings, so we know, each of us, so we know when we consult, we can break any glass ceiling. However, in America, it's a little different, and I wanted to ask you, how do you mitigate when issues happen? For instance, corporations, there are toxic people, and 15 years ago, I had a woman go after me and take me down, and how I solved the problem, I was naive. How I solved the problem was to go out and go bigger and have revenge through success. And so now that doesn't touch me. However, corporate America is a crazy animal. The other thing is there are times in my creating stardom in America through the internet is to have others try to supersede you or what do you call it, troll you because they are wanting what you have. And it's only happened just very few times. But what do you suggest when this happens? America can be a very bitter place in this realm when you stand out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult question. I mean, reputation management is huge in the States, dealing with what's happening online. But to me, it's crucial for you or for yourself to start offline, to realize that you build your reputation offline, and then put a strategy online to try to control your reputation. And somehow we are also meeting people offline today. I mean, here we meet, and our reputation is so crucial. But what I see is that when you become aware of your unique qualities, when you start building on them, magic happens. And take away the word weakness and consider, I have bugs. And if people are annoyed with your bugs, get the hell out of there, actually. I don't know if that was an answer, but it... Okay.
I have a question as well, because it's also a Women Impact Day. When you have studied this and worked with this for many years, can you see it's a difference when it comes to working with your reputation if you're a woman or if you're a man?
Oh yes, definitely, because men try to be aware of their strengths, and they are not, or women are not aware of them either. But what happens is that I think that women quicker dare to bring the unique qualities into the mind and body and act upon them. For men, it's like, it's more personal branding type for men. I am this good. Women realize when they know their unique strengths. And so I think what I've seen is that women are quicker adjusting to their reputation and dare to build on it.
Great. Are the women or men judged harder, if you know what I mean, when it comes to reputation? Is it more difficult, depending on your gender, if you're going to get a good reputation or not? Or
depends on what country I work in, actually. Mm-hmm. Because in Sweden, we are very focused on our weaknesses, if I use that word. And I think women are extremely focused when giving feedback on their weaknesses. We have one question when we are mapping reputation, and that is name areas that you could improve upon. And in Sweden, we write a lot of that question. When I get answers from the States, the normal answer is, I don't understand that question. So it's we have a different approach to weaknesses and strengths.
Interesting. Yes.
I'm a little curious about the, there's a discussion that women and men tend to support each other in different ways. Women support other women in certain ways, and men support men in other ways. Have you been reflecting on that?
Not really, but as I said, I can see from the answers, because every person that I work with gets feedback from around 15 people on certain questions. And what I can see is that women write more about the weaknesses than about the strengths. I don't know, in Sweden that is. I don't know why that is, but that's one experience that I have.
Have you ever reflected on how women support each other?
Nope, actually. I'm a nerd in another area. No, I'm sorry.
It would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you. I did. We have like minds there. Okay, great. Any other questions from the audience? Then I have one more. How do you measure reputation? You said that when you met the people that you met like a few years ago and you meet them again, you can see things have happened when it comes to reputation. How do you measure this?
For an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get out anonymously to around about 15 people around you with 5 open descriptive questions that they answer. And I get in about 20 pages of material that I compress into 10 lines. And the more I compress it, I don't write it, I compress it. The more I compress it, the closer I get to the truth. And then we also compress it into one line, a tagline. That is your reputation in one line, also indicating what can be expected from you. So it's a very interesting process because it's your professional DNA, actually.
Yeah, hi. So how do we go forth from here? How do we become more aware of our reputation and train our reputation? What's the next step for you and for us?
Well, my mission is, it's my line of work to map individuals' reputation and expand it and see that you get results from it. But the thing is that even if you don't use me as or my business, I think the thing is to be aware of the importance of your reputation. Try to figure out what does it look like. Ask people around you. And also the mind shift from history to future. That your reputation as it is today sets the expectations of what can be expected from you to accomplish.
Should we become our others' reputation managers and help each other with reputation?
Could be a great idea. Could be a great idea. As long as you do it in an anonymous way. Because if you can find that possibility, you will get much, much better answers. Because if you should ask me, I want to be kind to you. So I say nice things about you. So you should do it in an anonymous way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think it's really challenging, this thing of how you look at experience and when you look at what things are going to happen forward. And I guess these 3 days when we're focusing on future is actually helping us to think the way that you want us to think. You will be here during lunchtime as well, right?
Yes.
Yes, so ask him questions during lunch as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.